You didn't think we'd have so much to talk about before the season even starts, and yet here we are. Lonzo Ball, this is a good one, returned to the court. First time since 2022. How many games has he not played?
I don't know how many games, but it's over like 1,000 days since he's laced up.
1,000 days. He had 10 points in 15 minutes, had the first shot that he took, nailed it. Seeing him back on the court, I can't imagine anyone feels anything but happy.
This was special. There's someone I've went through a lot of similar injuries that he has with just nagging knees and just something you have to manage and kind of have constant maintenance throughout your entire season. This made me stoked, and you could tell the teammates after this game giving him the game ball because they know exactly what he's been through. When you're talking about a guy who has had cartilage transplants off cadavers and meniscus transplants, this guy's got a biotic knee at this point.
Damn.
And I had something similar where I had microfracture, and these were always options that you could possibly do. I never did them, so it's interesting to see that clearly this stuff is so cutting edge and it's working out to be able to get him on the court after over 1,000 days. It's just special. And also, shout out to the Chicago Bulls, too. They have so many chances they could just give up on this kid, but they've seen him putting in the work, and a lot of outside fans just think he's there collecting a check, or he's soft, or he's injury prone. It has nothing to do with that. He got dealt a bad hand, and he clearly has been grinding. He clearly has been putting in all the work and all the effort, so I'm super happy for Lonzo. And he looked great last night. The fact that he made his first shot, too, was awesome.
That's cool. Very movie-like. I mean, you're happy to see it, right, Lou? Like, that's a 1,000 days of not being able to do the thing you love. It's a lot.
Yeah, it was amazing to see, especially with so much time being ran off the clock. You know, he missed 2 years and some change. Like Chandler mentioned, you play this game long enough, you're going to have injuries, you're going to go through some adversity. I set out for 10 months dealing with an ACL, and I felt like it was the end of the world. So to do that ×2 and come back and you know, have a solid preseason game, and that's got to feel good to him. You know, even though it was a preseason game, I'm sure he celebrated after that game like it was a Super Bowl, you know, and because, sometimes you just have that feeling of, I don't know when I'm going to get back. I'm not sure where I am in my career. So to have that's 1,082 days off, and to come out and play decently, I think that should be great.
Yeah, that's a lot of nights for him to not even doubt himself. You're right. When you get so down like that, and then you don't know if you're ever going to play again, let alone be good and have some success in the league again, but just to be able to get out there on the floor is super special. Now, obviously, if you're a Chicago Bulls fan, if you're front office, you want to see him continue to do this. You want to see him stay
But you should be encouraged.
But this was a great start for him to actually be on the floor in a preseason game. Hopefully nothing happens today, and hopefully he's just
not
over here ridiculously sore today. But it was just fantastic to see, and all his work has paid off.
On the other side of this thing, we saw Julius Randle making his debut in his new uniform. 15 points, 26 minutes. You know, you can read however you want his departure from New York. There were a lot of things that were liked on social media or things that were posted on social media. But do you guys think, Lou, that he's playing with a chip on his shoulder?
He shouldn't. You know, he's in the Western Conference. Now, if you're still in the East, then New York Knicks is going to be a team that you're going to see 4 times a year. You're going to have that opportunity to scratch that itch of getting back at your old team for sure. But you're in the Western Conference, you're going to run into these guys only once in the Garden, once at the Target Center. Don't play with a chip on your shoulder. It's a fresh start for you. Obviously, the Minnesota Timberwolves believe in you. They put you in a position to be successful there. Man, go in it with a clean heart, with a clean soul, and just give the Minnesota Timberwolves fan base the most you can give them.
Yeah, it's not like they did him dirty, right? They sent him to a competing,
I don't think it's the Knicks, though.
Contending team.
The fans and stuff,
I do think with everything that's happened with him in New York and kind of the banter back and forth with the city, the fans, his wife going online saying that they were ready to leave New York anyways, there's definitely been some talk afterwards.
She did that?
Yeah.
But you know what? She also did it in a way.
It wasn't like shade. It was just like, I think it's more frustrating that from our kids out of schools to Minnesota than like us leaving.
It was clickbaity to say she was like, I want to get the hell out of here. But it was more like, yeah, we wanted to get into a house and a yard and all that stuff.
I think the situation could be a lot worse, obviously. At least he's on a contending team. He's playing with an absolute stud and star and Anthony Edwards. So like Lou said, too, he's on the Western Conference. This isn't a team he's going to have to see a lot. Now, when he goes back to MSG, of course, he's going to want to have something to prove. He's going to want to be, he wants them to regret making that trade. And so I think anytime it's nature that he's gonna have these feelings of animosity. But once the ball goes up and once they start doing and winning games on their own team, you kind of just forget about last season and everything that happened in New York.
It is good that it is the Western Conference. It is a very fresh, clean start.